from Intensive Engagement. This presentation is just a short introduction to the new Learning Centre that we have established using the platform OpenLearn. So I will talk you through some slides just to give you some material, show you the website, and then return to show you how the mobile phone app works as well. So first thing is that you will go and find our website, which is intensiveengagement.com, and you click on the Learning Centre button here that will take you to that place. So there are two options that will happen. If you haven't signed up to OpenLearn before, you'll need to create an account. That will be your personal account, and then you'll log in. And then when you log in and go back to the site again, you'll have access to the learning materials. So starting with the signing up process, when you click on the link from intensiveengagement.com, you'll be presented with two options here, the sign up and the login. So the first one you want to select is the sign up process, and you'll fill in whatever information you would like to use. So here Jack Stevens has filled in her details into the website. You'll notice the leaves there that relates to the OpenLearn platform. Once you've done that, you will be taken through a number of screens just to give you a bit of an orientation. It may well replicate some of the stuff I'm going to cover here, but click through that. Another detail might be that you're going to be asked for a collar or staff number. So if you happen to be a serving police officer, a collar number, or if you have a local staff number, employee number or something like that, then put that in. If not, a series of zeros or the last four characters of your mobile phone. It just gives a unique identifier just in case there's more than one person with your name. Once you've done that, it will take you to the login stage. So then you'll log in as normal. You can log in using your Facebook or YouTube or Gokha credentials, but we suggest that because this is a work-based learning program, you use a work email address here. So at that point, you're putting in your username and password. Occasionally, it comes up with this error message here, the invalid page actions. So what we suggest is that you close that window and reopen a new window. There's nothing to worry about. It's just a little glitch. So having registered, we want to move on to the login stage. So if you were to go to intensiveengagement.com, or if you happen to be inside openlearning.com as a whole, you'll find that this is the landing page for intensive engagement. And you can either join up separately or you'll get a login option. So here, rather than using the sign up button, you want to choose the login button. Put your user name and password in, and it will take you to a screen somewhat like this. So I'm going to switch now to the actual Learning Centre itself. This is the live Learning Centre. So you'll see that it's some slight differences here because I'm an administrator, so you won't be able to see the edit buttons and the setting buttons. But first thing is that you scroll down and you'll find connections or links to important information at any one point. You'll be able to have access to the learning activity, so that's where all the learning materials are. It may be the foundation course on community engagement that you've done, or you've just done the LISP training, intensive engagement training, or you want to go back to that handbook that we often use in our training sessions, and that's being presented as an electronic handbook. There's a button here that allow you to access any news and announcements. Just let it load up. There we go. Here, because I'm administrator, it'll give me the option to add and create stuff. You'll just be able to see the announcements. We're also setting up groups because we have a number of different groups around the UK. So in this case, the all visitors section, there's no new group. So if I was to go to one of our teams, for example, in one group we have working with Gloucestershire, you'll see that they have their own logo, and in this case there isn't any groups. I hope that there's some groups in the West Yorkshire option. If not, my system's broken down. Oh dear, it's broken. So there will be groups here. The other final button that you might want to consider is the library button, and that will give you access to any information, any announcements, any documents that we think are directly relevant. If we're doing a online live training, you'll be able to find a button here in the bottom right hand corner which will give you access to other people who are in the open learning system, and also anyone else who's in the class at the time. So very quick browse around the different parts of the Learning Centre, and go back to the PowerPoint presentation. There is also quite a good app, so if you happen to have Android or iOS, then OpenLearn will have an app for you. You'll be looking for this logo in this colour for the OpenLearn, which you can download to your phone, and you'll either sign up there if you haven't done that in a normal browser, or if you have already signed up, use your name and password there and log in, and you'll see the intensive engagement blue there. You'll have the landing page here. You'll be able to click on this button for announcements, course feed where the information is, and a button there which views more. And you have a series of buttons across the bottom. You'll see the learning material is at the bottom there. Let's move on and look more closely at that. So in the learning materials, you'll see it drops down, the foundation learning materials, the intensive engagement training, LISP handbook. So you click on each of those words and it will drop down with more detail. So in the foundation learning materials, you'll see the PowerPoint slides, the pro forma, some additional questions and information that was established during that training. And if you were to click on the LISP handbook button at the bottom there, it will drop down with each of the chapters of the LISP handbook as we're adding them in. So at the moment you have up until step 3, and that will continue. You click on one of those buttons and it will show you the information. You can scroll down. These buttons here, or these pieces here, show you your progress. So if you haven't already clicked on one of these, for example, the example of list working hasn't been used yet, so there's one activity and it hasn't been done yet, whereas if it has been, there you'll get a tick for that. And you can see your progress through the material at that point there. Backing to the home page, you'll notice that on your phone that there will be 4 buttons at the bottom here. This is your main home page button, rather inexplicably in the middle rather than the left, but it shows you your progress and the main components, so the groups and the library, the learning activities button down there. If you click on the bell, that's the alarm or the notifications. At the moment there aren't any notifications, but if you've been sent some, they will appear there. And if you click on the heart button, that will also give you further information. And finally, the right hand button will be where you can change your profile, add pictures and stuff like that. It helps enormously if you put a photograph of yourself in when you're doing e-learning, so that you and other students can see very quickly who the user is. So there's been more functionality as we progress, but hopefully that's just a very brief, less than 10-minute introduction to the intensive engagement OpenLearn software.